Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining this session. Over the next half hour or so, we are going to look closely at one of the most important compliance questions facing regulated manufacturers right now: how artificial intelligence fits inside an FDA-regulated quality system, and where it does not. Our focus is narrow and deliberate. We are not going to walk through every observation in this warning letter. We're going to concentrate on a single issue that applies to almost every company represented in this room: over-reliance on AI in CGMP documentation. And I want to set the tone from the very first slide. This is not an anti-AI session. The message is not that AI is dangerous or that you should stop using it. The message is about accountability. Who is responsible when AI helps create a regulated document? We will examine exactly what the FDA said, why unverified AI output drew the agency's concern, how the quality unit and process validation fit in, and the practical prevention and remedy steps you can put to work. Before we get into the substance, two quick framing points. First, the tone. If you take away only one sentence today, let it be this one. The FDA is not telling industry to stop using AI. The agency's concern is that AI cannot replace CGMP judgment, quality unit approval, process validation, or documented evidence of compliance. So the accurate way to describe this case is not a company was punished for using AI. It is a company was cited for using AI in regulated manufacturing documentation without adequate human review, quality unit oversight, and verification against CGMP requirements. That distinction matters, and we will come back to it more than once. Second, a boundary. This session is for compliance education and content development only. It is not legal advice. For any specific legal, regulatory, product release, or quality system decision, please consult qualified FDA regulatory counsel or a qualified CGMP consultant. Let us start where the FDA started, with what the agency actually said about AI over-reliance. In this first section, we will look at the case in brief, what the company used AI for, why the unverified output was a problem, and why the AI did not tell us does not hold up as a defense. Here is just enough background to ground the conversation. The warning letter at the center of this session is number 320-26-58, issued by the FDA's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research on April 2nd, 2026. Following an inspection of a drug manufacturing facility in Livonia, Michigan, in late October 2025. The regulated product category is drugs. Now, the letter cited several other issues: sanitation, finished product and component testing, quality unit oversight, process validation, distributed product, and unapproved drug claims. We are treating those only as background because our focus today is the AI finding. Why does the AI finding deserve a session of its own? Because it connects three things that are now central to FDA compliance: traditional CGMP failures, AI-assisted documentation, and human accountability. It takes a question every team is asking: can we use AI to move faster in our compliance work? And turns it into a regulated manufacturing problem. The answer is yes, you can, but only if that AI use is governed, reviewed, and documented. Let us be precise about what the FDA said, because precision matters here. The agency found that the company used AI agents to help comply with FDA regulations and to create drug product specifications, procedures, and master production or control records, and that the firm failed to review those AI-generated documents to make sure they were accurate and CGMP compliant. The FDA also stated that if drug production resumes, any AI output or recommendation must be reviewed and cleared by an authorized human representative of the quality unit. Notice three things in that finding. First, AI use was not banned. The agency did not say AI is forbidden. It said AI-generated documents must be reviewed for accuracy and CGMP compliance before use. Second, human review is required. Any AI output has to be cleared by an authorized quality unit representative. And third, responsibility stays with the company. The manufacturer remains fully responsible for the final document, the decision, the release, and the compliance position. Before we move on, ask yourself honestly, would your current process have caught an unreviewed AI document before it entered your quality system? It is worth pausing on what kind of documents we are talking about, because the document type is exactly what makes this risk so serious. AI was used for drug product specifications, the official quality standard a finished product must meet before release. For procedures and SOPs, the written step-by-step instructions for how regulated work gets performed. For master production and control records, the approved manufacturing recipe and control instructions for making a batch. And for general support in interpreting and complying with FDA regulations. These are not ordinary business documents. They determine how products are made, tested, reviewed, approved, and released. So if any one of them is incomplete or wrong, that error does not stay on the page. It flows straight into product quality, patient safety, and compliance. Think for a moment about which of these 4 document types AI most often touches in your own organization today. So why did the FDA object? Not because AI helped. The problem was that polished AI output entered the quality system without verification. Let me give you 4 plain examples, and notice that each one looks complete on the surface while hiding a real gap. First, AI drafts an SOP but leaves out process validation. The document reads as finished, but products could ship without any evidence that the process reliably produces acceptable quality. Second, AI drafts a specification but omits microbial limits. Now, contamination risks that genuinely matter for a non-sterile drug product may never get tested. Third, AI summarizes the FDA rules but misses a current requirement. The company acts on an incomplete interpretation and then fails an inspection. And fourth, AI creates a master record that never goes to the quality unit. Production staff may end up following an unapproved or defective record on the floor. The common thread in all 4 is the same: polished output, missing substance, and no human there to catch it. Which of those do you think is most likely to slip past your current review? This is the line I would ask you to remember from the entire session. The FDA found the company had not conducted process validation before distributing its drug products, and the firm reportedly explained that it was unaware of the requirement because the AI agent never told it the step was required. In a regulated environment, that reasoning simply does not work. The obligation to know and apply FDA requirements belongs to the company. Let me make sure the stakes are clear. Process validation is the documented evidence that a manufacturing process consistently produces a product meeting its required quality attributes. And it is required under the Production and Process Control Rules at 21 CFR 211.100. That is not a small administrative box to tick. So here is the principle. Accountability cannot be outsourced to software. The manufacturer remains responsible for product quality, validation, record review, and quality unit approval. AI may assist the work, but it can never be the final reviewer or the compliance decision maker. Put simply, if your AI tool misses a requirement, the responsibility still belongs to you. That principle leads us directly to the quality unit, because this is where human accountability lives. The FDA cited the quality unit for failing to oversee operations. and that includes the AI-generated documents. So the message is straightforward. The quality unit, not the tool and not the person who happened to author the document, is the function that approves or rejects anything that impacts quality: procedures, specifications, materials, records, and products. What does that look like in practice? 4 things. Update your quality unit procedures so they explicitly state how AI-generated or AI-assisted documents must be reviewed and approved. Make quality unit approval mandatory for any procedure or specification that affects identity, strength, quality, or purity. Train your quality unit people to challenge AI output rather than accept it just because it reads well. And document that review the same way you document any other controlled document review. The bottom line is the line on the screen. AI can be in the workflow, but it can never be the final reviewer or compliance decision maker. That brings us to the question in our title: how much AI reliance is actually too much? Let me give you a practical way to answer that, and then a risk matrix you can map your own use cases onto. Here is the good news and the slightly harder news. The good news. People often ask whether the FDA has a percentage. Is 20% reliance fine and 70% too much? There is no FDA percentage. The harder news. That means you have to apply judgment. But the test is quite clear and it is functional. Reliance becomes too much when AI replaces human regulatory judgment, quality unit review, required validation, required testing, required documentation, or your ability to explain and defend your own compliance position. Put practically, lower risk use is when AI supports preparation but does not control the final regulated decision, organizing or drafting from already approved material with a human reviewing it. Higher risk use is when AI output affects quality, safety, identity, strength, purity, product release, validation, or regulatory submissions, and that demands strong controls and quality unit approval. And watch the red flags on the screen. AI output used as final without checking the official rules. AI documents implemented without quality unit approval. No record of who reviewed what. AI being used to decide whether validation or testing is even required. The AI did not tell us offered as an excuse. Or simply no inventory, no SOP, no training, and no review trail. Take a moment and count, privately, how many of those apply to your organization today. This matrix is the single most practical slide in this section, because you can map your own work straight onto it. Read it from top to bottom, and you will see the risk rise as AI gets closer to a regulated decision. Drafting a training outline from already approved SOPs is lower to medium risk. A review by the training owner and QA is enough. Summarizing a public FDA guidance document is medium. Regulatory affairs simply verifies it against the source and its date. Creating a first draft of an SOP, a specification, or a master production record is high risk. Those require subject matter expert review, QA and QC review, and quality unit approval under change and version control. And the very high-risk rows, deciding whether process validation is required or supporting a batch release decision, must never be made by AI alone. The key is the right-hand column. Higher risk does not mean do not use AI. It means more human verification and clear quality unit ownership. Pick one row that matches something you do today, and ask yourself what control you actually have in place for it. So how do you prevent this in your own operation? The answer is to build AI governance into the quality system itself, not bolted on as an IT policy. Let us walk through the framework, the review workflow, and the document control safeguards that make AI use traceable. Think of prevention as one connected system, not 10 disconnected tips. It moves from policy to practice. It starts with a formal AI use policy for your GXP and CGMP work. and an inventory that classifies each AI use case by risk. It runs through human-in-the-loop review and a strengthened quality unit for anything that touches quality. It treats AI-assisted documents like any other controlled document. It keeps validation independent. It trains people on what AI can and cannot do. It extends the same expectations to your suppliers and contractors. It protects data integrity. And it maintains the evidence you can actually show an inspector. The unifying idea behind all 10 points is simple. AI governance has to live inside your pharmaceutical quality system, connected to document control, change control, validation, CAPA, supplier qualification, and the quality unit, not sitting off to the side with IT. We will expand the highest leverage pieces over the next 2 slides. This 9-step workflow is something you can lift more or less directly into an SOP. And notice, as we go, that it maps precisely onto the gaps the FDA found. Define the use case and decide whether it is administrative, quality impacting, or decision impacting. Check authorization. Is the tool approved for this kind of work? And is regulated data involved? Treat the first AI output as a draft only, never as approved content. Verify it against the official sources: FDA regulations, guidances, approved SOPs, validated methods, and specifications. Run a technical review, where a subject matter expert checks the science and the operational accuracy. Then a quality unit review, which approves or rejects anything that impacts product quality or CGMP. Document the full review trail. Train the affected employees on the approved final document before it is used, and monitor after implementation for errors or omissions. Look closely at steps 4, 5, and 6: verification, technical review, and quality unit review. That is exactly the human accountability that was missing in this case. Which of these steps does your organization most often skip when a deadline is bearing down? This is the direct remedy for the core problem in the warning letter: making AI-assisted documents controllable. The chain across the top is what you should capture for every quality-impacting AI-assisted document: the prompt or input, the AI output, the reviewer's comments, the source verification, the changes that were made, the approval date, and the final approver. That chain is what turns an AI draft into a traceable, defensible record. And 4 rules make it real. Label AI-assisted drafts inside the document's development history. Capture that entire chain as part of the record. Never let an uncontrolled AI-generated document reach the manufacturing floor. And fold AI-assisted documents into your existing change control, version control, and training systems. The point is simple. An AI-assisted document earns no special exemption. It has to be as traceable as any other controlled document you maintain. Finally, let us talk about what to do when something has already gone wrong, the remedies and corrective actions, the root cause questions behind a sound CAPA, and the evidence you will want ready before an inspector ever asks. These are the corrective actions that flow directly from the AI finding. First, address the product that is already in the market. Assess any distributed product still within expiry against its established specifications and labeled shelf life, with supporting data, because stopping production does not end that responsibility. Then, build the forward-looking system. Stand up your AI governance controls, the AIU SOP, risk classification, human review, and quality unit approval, before any AI output re-enters your GMP workflows. Remediate the AI-assisted documents you already have, checking them for accuracy, approval, version control, and completed training. Independently confirm that process, cleaning, and method validation obligations were not missed in any AI-drafted document. That is the very gap that triggered this case. Build the review trail template that makes your human review provable, and create SAPA procedures specifically for AI-related errors, omissions, or uncontrolled documents. One theme ties all of these together. Every corrective action has to be evidence-based, backed by documentation, not promises, because that is exactly where the company's response to the FDA fell short. When an AI-assisted document does reach production with a gap, here is a simple, repeatable structure for the root cause part of your CAPA. 4 questions. Where did the system fail? Usually at several points at once. No source verification caught the gap, no technical review happened, and there was no quality unit approval before the document was used. Who should have stopped it? The qualified subject matter expert reviewer, and ultimately the quality unit. What records should exist? The prompt and the output, the reviewer's notes, the source verification, the change control, and the quality unit approval. And then you confirm which of those are missing. And what CAPA is appropriate? Assess the impact on any product already distributed. Add mandatory human and quality unit review gates, retrain the staff, and update your AI USOP. These 4 questions work for almost any AI-related event. I would encourage you to build them right into your investigation template. This slide is essentially the evidence an inspector will look for, so treat it as a standing self-audit. Every item here is something you should be able to produce on request. A current AI use SOP for your GXP and CGMP activities. An AI inventory that documents each tool and its context of use. Risk classification of your AI use cases. Reviewer records showing notes, corrections, and source verification. Quality unit approvals for your quality impacting AI documents. Training records covering AI's limitations and your review obligations. A review trail that links the prompt to the output to the approval. The ability in a mock inspection to explain how AI was used and how the output was verified. Periodic internal audits of your AI-assisted documents. And CAPA procedures for AI-related errors and uncontrolled documents. Here is a useful gut check. If an inspector asked for these today, how many could you put your hands on within the hour? This is your take-home checklist. 10 immediate actions you can begin this quarter, all focused on getting AI under control. Identify all the AI tools already in use across quality, regulatory, validation, manufacturing, the lab, document control, and training. Create or update an AI USOP for your GXP and CGMP work. Classify your AI use cases by context of use and risk level. Explicitly prohibit AI from making standalone batch release, validation, product claim, or regulatory response decisions. Require quality unit approval for AI-assisted SOPs, specifications, master records, and other quality impacting documents. Create a review trail template. Train your staff that AI output must be verified, and that the AI did not tell us is never a defense. Review the AI-assisted documents you already have for accuracy, approval, version control, and training. Add AI use questions to your internal audits and mock inspections. And update your quality agreements with vendors and contract manufacturers to cover AI-assisted regulated work. My one suggestion, before you leave today, put an owner and a date next to each of these 10 lines. That is what turns a checklist into a plan. Let me close the content with the 5 ideas that carry this whole session. 1. AI is a tool, not a quality unit. It can draft, organize, and support, but it cannot approve, validate, or release. 2. Polished is not the same as compliant. AI output can look completely professional while missing a mandatory CGMP requirement. 3. The AI did not tell us is not a defense. The company always remains responsible for knowing and applying FDA requirements. 4. Human review has to be qualified and documented. A click is not oversight. The quality unit must understand the regulation and the risk and record the review. And 5. Govern AI inside your quality system. policy, risk classification, human review, quality unit approval, records, and training. All of it in place before AI output ever enters a GMP workflow. I will leave you with the single line that anchors everything we have covered. Let AI assist the work, but never let AI become the accountable quality decision maker. AI genuinely can help regulated companies move faster. But in FDA compliance, speed without control creates exposure. Accountability stays with people and with your pharmaceutical quality system. Everything we have discussed traces back to the primary sources on the screen: the warning letter itself, the two governing CGMP regulations on the quality unit and on production and process controls, and the FDA's guidance and quality systems materials. They are all publicly available, so you can verify every point independently. And one last reminder: today's session has been compliance education, not legal advice. For your specific situations, please work with qualified FDA regulatory counsel or a qualified CGMP consultant. Thank you for your time and attention. I am glad to take your questions.